Welcome to the Codex Chronicles. This is where we talk about everything and anything about the Aztecs. Here's a quick summary of how it all began. It all began with a group of Native Americans. Huitzilopochtli, the god of war, told them to go seek for an eagle perched on a cactus. They traveled for 100 years until they finally found the eagle on the cactus. Once they found the eagle on the cactus, they began building a civilization in that area. This spanned between the year 13,000 to 1521. The Aztecs were living a great life in northern Mexico, and everything seemed to be going great. The Aztecs would create very new and smart inventions that were never discovered and are still being used till this day. One of these inventions were chinampas. So chinampas were created because the Aztecs didn't have much land to farm on. They were on an island, to be fair. So what they would do is they would stack mud on water and they would make small islands that they would use to harvest. Another invention that the Aztecs created were codices or codices. Codices were made to record Aztec life, social culture, and history. Another invention that they created was chocolate, but they didn't use cacao beans for chocolate specifically. They would use it for a hot chocolate. This hot chocolate would be a lot more bitter and less sweet than what we know of today, and if you would drink this hot chocolate, it would bring you wisdom. Now we will be talking about Aztec citizenship. The first skill every Aztec citizen needed was obedience, so make sure you listen to the emperor. Skill number 2 was self-sacrifice. Every Aztec citizen needed to be ready to sacrifice them to the gods at any point in time. The third skill was courage. Every Aztec citizen had to be courageous. Skill number 4, modesty. No great warrior would boast about themselves. And the last, skill number 5, clean living. Stay healthy and avoid overindulging. Now we'll be talking about the Aztec gods. The first god I will be talking about is Huitzilopochtli. He was the god of war, and like I said, he encouraged the Aztecs to leaving their ancestral homeland and settle in the Valley of Mexico. The Aztec people would sacrifice to him, and they thought that the blood would nourish him. The second god I'll be talking about is Tezcatlipoca. He was the most powerful of the gods. He was the god of night sky. Him and Huitzilopochtli would fight often for who gets to rule the sky above the Aztecs. The third god I'll be talking about is Quetzalcoatl, the god of wind. His name meant feathered serpent. Aztec priests offered him flowers, incense, and birds. The last god I'll be talking about today is Tlaloc, the god of rain. Tlaloc could unleash deathly floods or withhold the rain for years, causing drought and famine. The Aztecs feared him because he controlled their survival. The next thing I'll be talking about is Aztec calendars. There are 2 calendars, the sacred calendar and the solar calendar. The sacred calendar was 260 days long, and it took exactly 52 years for it to catch up with the solar calendar. So that makes the solar calendar 52 years. In the middle of the solar calendar was an Aztec sun deity called Tonatiuh. Tonatiuh was known as the 5th sun. He is shown on the solar calendar with his tongue sticking out, indicating that he is hungry and he needs sacrifice. The next thing I'll be talking about is Aztec schools. The noble kids and the commoner kids had different schools. All schools were free no matter what status you had, but there was still a difference between the education system. The noble children would learn how to read or write, and they would join the school at the age of 15. Their school was called Calmecac. The school for commoner children was different. They would also join at the age of 15, but they didn't learn how to read or write. What they did learn about was history, religion, and even music. Their school was called Telpochcali. The last thing I'll be talking about is the Aztec worldview. The Aztec worldview was a very unique view of the earth. They thought that the world was built with 3 layers. The middle layer was earth, humans controlled. The layer above was the heavens that was called Ominyokin, and the layer at the bottom was the underworld. That was their worldview, and most of the decisions they made in life was related to the gods above. They would make their decisions based on making the gods above happy. They would only be accepted by the gods when they passed, if they died doing a good deed. For example, if a warrior dies in a battle, the people would host a ritual sacrifice to lift their spirits to the gods. That's all for the first episode of the Codex Chronicles, and I hope you join us next time.